Russia has voiced serious concerns over the Israeli outposts. Basically, what Israel did is they went out to those illegal outposts they've been building on occupied land. These are illegal under international law. They're illegal under UN resolution. The United Nations has passed many resolutions telling Israel you're not supposed to be doing this. And so Israel's government the other day said, they're legal now. We have waved our magic wand, and what was once illegal is now legal. We have said so, mahi dictum est, sine die, go shut the heck up or you're a filthy anti-Semite. So Russia is basically out there saying, you know, you just can't arbitrarily declare an international crime to be legal. And I'm sure that Netanyahu is over there sending messages saying, you know, shut up about Palestine or we'll order the Americans to go kill you. So the situation is heating up, and basically Russia is simply putting it on the record that Israel can say that what they're doing is perfectly legal. That doesn't make it so. After all, everything Adolf did in Germany was the letter of the law inside Germany at the time, and yet we all understand that he kind of messed things up rather badly. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right. Every tyrant and dictatorship in history, including the present one, declares what they're doing to be the letter of the law. Look how hard they worked to basically find some way to say, yeah, waterboarding's okay. It's not really torture. We're going to call it enhanced interrogation, and that will make it all legal. No, it isn't. If you're torturing somebody, you're torturing somebody. And that's illegal under international law. It's illegal under the UN Charter. And trying to game the system with weasel language doesn't fool anybody anymore. Not in the 21st century here. Now, there was an article we put up earlier today about Operation Cast Lead, and it introduces the word Zionese. And basically says Zionese is the unofficial language of the State of Israel. It's not necessarily Hebrew. It could very well be English. It could be any language at all. But Zionese is a language that conveys the belief systems of Israel, even though they may be 180 degrees out of reality. And the author of this piece is talking about where he's driving around in a cab in Israel, and the cab driver is just constantly going on about the Philistine animals and how they hate us and they want to kill us, and so yeah, that's the Zionese. It's the propagandizing of what's going on here. He says he met somebody else who said, oh yeah, if you go into Palestine, they'll kill you. They'll just kill you right off. And that's Zionese. And the reason I posted this and wanted to talk about it is I remember clearly when I was a small child, attending that little brick schoolhouse in Loudon, New Hampshire. It's a lot bigger now. But I recall one of the textbooks we were given. It was called Our American Heritage. I don't know why it stuck in my memory, but it did. And it featured this painting of a steamboat on the cover. And inside this book was the usual propaganda for young, impressionable minds about how great the United States was and how evil the communists were, how all communists everywhere dreamed of nothing but the destruction of the United States because, well, no real reason was given, just because. And the message I was getting in that textbook is remarkably similar to the one that was portrayed by this author about, you know, driving around inside Israel. And now everybody has just bought into this constant harangue. Oh, they hate us. We don't need an explanation. We just know they hate us. And they wish us nothing but ill, and we must kill them before they kill us. And it's a belief. It's not based on facts. You know, it's based on this belief structure that allows Israel to go out and steal other people's lands and then make the people whose lands were stolen the villains for wanting to fight back for their homes. And let's be honest, as much as we oppose these wars of conquest in the other parts of the world, if somebody were to march across the borders of the United States of America itself, we would all run down and defend our homes, wouldn't we? And it makes common sense. So will the Iraqis, so will the Afghanis, and so will the people of Palestine. And they're not evil for doing so. Anyway, to get back to this story, like everybody else in America, I was brainwashed by the lies and cartoons and all the stuff about the commies that I was fed to at a very young age before I came to understand. Those really big people at the front of the room were full of it. And they were lying to us. They were paid to lie to us by the school district, by the government. They were paid to brainwash us into hating communists for no real reason at all. Then, through my work at NASA, I actually met some real live communists from the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. And then again, I met some more at SIGGRAPH when some Moscow University students showed up. And this was all just before the collapse of the USSR. And finally, I had a chance meeting with an Aeroflot flight crew when we were all snowed in at the Frankfurt airport. And this was just like, I think, a year before the collapse of the Soviet Union. And in hindsight, I probably should not have been surprised to find out that these were just really cool people. They were just normal, ordinary people like myself. As John F. Kennedy used to say, we're all mortal. We all worry about our children's future. And we're all the same people. I'm going to pick this up on the other side of the commercial break. And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. So we're talking about the propaganda that we are all raised with versus the reality of the world. And I was raised with your typical gotta hate the commies, wet yourself if you see a Russian coming at you, brainwashing that we were all subjected to back in the 1950s and the 1960s. And then because of my particular career path, I wound up getting to actually meet some real live communists from the Soviet Union, and they did not rip my head off and urinate down my neck upon meeting me. They were just ordinary people. Same concerns we have, getting through life, taking care of their children. In fact, the pilot for this Aeroflot crew that I got to spend time with at Frankfurt, his son wanted to be a cosmonaut, and I still had a whole bunch of my old pins left over from NASA. I had them decorating the outside of my little briefcase, and I gave them to him to give to his son. Wow, from the American space program kind of thing. It was all very cool. He was proud of his son. Show me a father in this country who's not proud of their son, or a mother who's proud of their children and wants them to do well. Kennedy was right. We all cherish our children's future. So the lesson of all these encounters I've had is really very, very simple. People can get along with each other very, very well. Were it not for the charlatans and con artists and mountebanks and snake oil salesmen who rule us all with lies about a remote enemy that hates us for no reason, and from whom we need the protection offered by the rulers, that they would be happy to provide for us in exchange for, obedience, wealth, and the lives of our children to be sacrificed in pointless wars. And so, to the author of this piece who was driving around Jerusalem while the cabbies are screaming about how much the Palestinians hate them, or to everybody who's lining up on both sides of the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman manufactured controversy, and being told, those people over there that look different from you, they're the enemy. You've got to hate them. You've got to fear them. But we will save you from them if you will vote for me. It's the same dirty trick that rulers and swindlers and con artists, but I repeat myself, have been playing on the human race for thousands of years. The bad whatever are coming to get you, but I will protect you if you do what I say. The evil demons will get you unless you bow down and worship the artwork at the front of the church and throw your money in the plate and pay no attention to the funny way the boys are walking out after choir practice. The commies are coming to get you, but I will protect you if you give us all your money and sacrifice the lives of some of your children. Now it's the Arab Muslims who are coming. It's always the manufacturing of an enemy at a distance for you to be afraid of. L. Frank Baum in The Wizard of Oz was one of the most brilliant pieces of writing because he was warning the American people what their government was up to in a way that the government itself was too stupid to realize. And the Wizard of Oz ruled the Emerald City through fraud and deception and lies. Papier-mâché masks dipped in kerosene and set on fire. Explosions, fireworks, warnings of the wicked witches way off in the distance who were coming to get you. And who never actually got there. Our country has been ruled for the last century, ever since the creation of the Federal Reserve. We've been told there are enemies on the other side of the world that we must go out and destroy, lest they come here and destroy us. We're not at danger from Arab Muslims. We aren't. We're at greatest risk from our own government that is courting, chancing, risking a global thermonuclear war because some guy in a funny-looking robe is running around screaming, the invisible man in the cloud says it's a holy war and we've got to go and do what they say. After all the hundreds of thousands of years of human civilization evolving, And we have forgotten more history than we know today. We don't know what's gone on in the past. We do know that we've come very close to vanishing from the planet in ancient times. At one time, the entire human population shrank back down to less than 8,000 individuals. We know that from mitochondrial DNA. We don't have a permanent leasehold on this planet. And I know the environmental wackos are going to run around about carbon dioxide and all this other stuff because they want to sell you a carbon credit. But the reality is the biggest danger to human life is our own leadership. That is, even as I speak, preparing to starve our children in order to build even bigger bombs than they have now. How many times over do they want to be able to destroy the world? How many nuclear weapons is it going to take to satisfy these warhawks? They can destroy all of human civilization 5 times over already. Shouldn't once be enough? Can't we save a few bucks by saying, here's the capacity to blow up the entire world all at once, and you don't need any more than that? What are they going to do, declare war on the moon?